The old photograph, tucked inside the funeral program, showed a young man in uniform, a world away from the gentle grandfather they knew. Who was this person hidden behind the kind eyes and quiet smile? Willow Creek mourned Arthur Jenkins. He had been a constant presence, the man with kind stories for children and a ready hand for neighbors. His days unfolded with simple rhythms, tending his garden's blooms, scattering seeds for the morning birds, and the familiar creak of his porch swing as he watched the slow turning of the world. A quiet sadness settled over the town with his passing, a gentle disturbance in their peaceful lives. For his grandchildren, Sarah and Tom, a deep emptiness echoed where his steady presence had always been. They recalled his soft, rumbling chuckle, the patient way he'd guide their clumsy fingers in tying fishing knots, and the comfortable silences they often shared on the porch swing beside him. Yet, a part of Arthur always remained just out of reach. He rarely spoke of the years before them, his past a closed book, deflected with a soft smile that didn't quite meet his eyes and a swift change of topic. They knew a war had touched his life a long time ago, he'd murmur, and then steer the conversation towards school or the best bait for catching catfish. Now, sifting through his belongings, his absence was a tangible weight in the air. Each object in his home spoke of the uncomplicated life he had embraced, a life seemingly untouched by dramatic events or concealed turmoil. Unbeknownst to them, tucked away in the stillness of the dusty attic, a secret waited to be found, a truth held captive within the aged pages of a forgotten journal. This unexpected discovery promised to shatter the familiar image of the quiet old man they believed they knew, revealing a history marked by courage and unspoken burdens that had shaped the very essence of his being. The silence that had always shrouded his past was about to speak in a way they could never have imagined. The days blurred into a quiet routine of sorting and remembering after Arthur's funeral. The attic, a space filled with the scent of dust and forgotten years, remained the final task. Sunlight slanted through the grimy window, illuminating motes of dust dancing in the still air. Amongst stacks of yellowed photographs and boxes of forgotten keepsakes, Sarah's fingers closed around something unexpected. Hidden beneath a folded quilt, a leather-bound journal lay still and silent. Its surface was worn smooth with age, the color faded in places. A strange sense of anticipation, a feeling that this object held more than just memories, settled over them. It didn't immediately register as belonging to their grandfather. The name embossed on the cover, barely legible, was his, but the handwriting was unfamiliar, sharper, and more angular than the gentle script they knew from birthday cards. Hesitantly, their fingers fumbled with the brittle pages, finally revealing the first entry. Rough sketches filled the initial leaves, stark landscapes unlike Willow Creek, figures in unfamiliar uniforms, and symbols that held no meaning for them. Then came the words, stark and immediate, recounting experiences that felt impossibly distant from the tranquil life Arthur had built. The entries spoke of a world consumed by heat and fear, of camaraderie forged in the face of constant threat. As they read further, a different Arthur emerged from the faded ink, a young man thrust into the brutal reality of conflict, witnessing sights that would surely leave indelible scars. The journal entries were raw with emotion, filled with a vulnerability they had never glimpsed in their stoic grandfather. Longing for a distant home, the sharp sting of loss, and the desperate fight to hold on to hope in the face of overwhelming darkness bled through the pages. Each turn of the brittle paper peeled back another layer of Arthur's hidden past, a history of intensity and hardship that had remained locked away for decades. The quiet man they mourned had lived a life of unimaginable experience, a life they were only beginning to comprehend through the fragile words before them. The silence that had always defined his past was now beginning to yield its long-held secrets. The journal's entries became a stark landscape of experiences, far removed from Willow Creek's gentle rhythms. Each word etched a portrait of a young man facing trials that tested the limits of human endurance. Acts of bravery, previously unimaginable in the context of their quiet grandfather, leaped from the pages. Tales of quick thinking under fire, unwavering commitment to his fellow soldiers, and the soul-crushing weight of witnessing death etched themselves into their minds. The faraway look that sometimes flickered in Arthur's eyes, the moments of quiet contemplation they had always accepted as his way, now resonated with a profound understanding. The silence that had always shrouded his wartime years, transformed from a simple lack of conversation into a palpable testament to the burdens he had carried in solitude. Their parents, drawn into the unfolding story, shared fragmented recollections of Arthur's rare, veiled references to his time in service, pieces of a life they had only glimpsed before. These scattered memories now aligned with the journal's stark realities, forming a clearer, more complete picture of the man their father had been before he became their quiet, loving dad. They began to grasp that his embrace of simplicity, his consistent deflection of any questions about the war, was likely not an act of forgetting, but a conscious effort to protect them from the shadows that still lingered within him. The journal provided a raw understanding of the forces that had shaped Arthur's life. His quiet strength, the unwavering kindness he extended to everyone he met, perhaps even his deep connection to the tangible peace of his garden and his porch swing, were all threads intricately woven from the fabric of his wartime experiences. The discovery transcended the mere unearthing of a hidden past. It became a profound reckoning with the man they had cherished, a recognition of the sacrifices he had made and the immense emotional weight he had silently borne for decades. The faded ink on the aged paper spoke a truth that his reserved nature had long guarded, revealing a depth of character they were only beginning to truly comprehend. The weight of his silence began to dissipate, replaced by a dawning awareness of the profound impact of his unspoken history. Arthur's war journal transcended its existence as a mere repository of memories. It evolved into a potent symbol of a life lived with quiet valor. The initial grief surrounding his passing was now interwoven with a deep-seated respect for the hidden hero who had been a part of their lives. Sarah and Tom, along with their parents, felt a growing sense of obligation to ensure Arthur's story wasn't confined to the fragile pages they had unearthed. They meticulously transcribed his words, driven by a desire to honor his experiences and, perhaps, provide solace to others burdened by similar unspoken histories. Sharing excerpts with close friends and neighbors ignited a quiet wave of awe and empathy throughout Willow Creek. The local newspaper, alerted to the extraordinary discovery, approached the family with a request to share Arthur's narrative with a wider audience. After careful deliberation, they consented, recognizing the importance of acknowledging the sacrifices of those whose bravery often remains unseen and unacknowledged. The resulting article resonated profoundly within the community, prompting other veterans to cautiously share their own long-held stories, fracturing decades of silence. A new layer of understanding settled over Willow Creek, a deep appreciation for the quiet strength and resilience that could reside within the most seemingly ordinary individuals. Arthur Jenkins, the gentleman of the garden and porch, was now remembered not only for his kindness, but also for his profound courage and the silent sacrifices that had shaped his existence. His journal became a lasting testament, a reminder that heroism often wears an unassuming face, and that every life holds a story of profound significance, even if its true depths are only revealed after the final farewell. His legacy extended far beyond the memories held by his family, subtly transforming the perspectives of a community that had come to understand the profound power and weight of unspoken experiences. The quiet hero was finally seen,